Change. This train not taking passengers.
Whew. Hey everyone. Yeah. I feel kind of awkward, and I think the reason for that is because I'm actually not wearing any pants. I went for a ride out to Hillsville with some mates. And yeah, it's, I don't know, 36 degrees or something, and you're wearing full body sort of bike gear and shit like that. It weighs a ton. And I just got to the studio. I was passing through. Can't remember why I was actually coming here, but I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll record something. And I refused to prove Andy wrong. Right, sorry. But he won't listen to this anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's just our little secret, hey? Fuck. It's actually sweltering here. Me, the idiot. I just had a Sprite, even though I'm craving water, but there's only 2 waters left in the fridge. And I feel like should the Earth go to like Apocalypse Now specs, those 2 waters may come in handy. Or they may be the last offering I can give to an actual real guest. I keep saying I'm going to restock the fridge, but I just haven't been here. Apologies for lack of episodes and all that. I think it's been about 3 weeks or so. I've just been flat out. I had a few lined up, and then they were sort of touch and go, and I just said, you know what, scrap it. I've just got too much work to get through myself. And that's the whole problem with people have said to me, you should start a subscription sort of thing where people pay for extra content. Like maybe these solo ones will only come if you pay for a subscription, but I'm at a point where I'm just too busy, like working full-time job, plus running a full-time business, plus everything else that I do. I can't guarantee content, so it's like, that catch-22. Have you got the goods? No. Have the money? Well, yeah, I got the money, but do you have the stuff? You're not getting the stuff until you see the money. I remember I did that once. I was on a train, 10 years plus, with one of my business partners at the time. We were going to a meeting in the city or something. We looked way out of our league, just wearing slacks and shirts with ties. We just looked leather jackets. We just looked fucked. We looked like 2 goons in a bad movie on their way to make a deal. And we're on the train, and we just started going back and forth. You got the money? I got the money. You got the stuff? Hey, you ain't seen the stuff until I see the money. Hey, you ain't getting no money until I see the stuff. I still say that to myself every now and then and laugh. I'm actually tempted to message him. I haven't messaged him in a long time. I'm tempted to message the guy and just play him that clip and see if he remembers it. I'm really sad. Every time I come in, 2 things happen. There's a audio panel that's on the wall right behind me to the left, and there's 4 audio panels, big wide ass ones, tall, nearly 1 point, I don't know how tall, 5 by 40, 50, I'm not sure. Anyway, and they were all hung up, and the one in the far corner of the wall, every time I come in, it's fallen down, and I keep putting different Tarzan grip tape and God knows what to try and keep it up, and it's constantly just falling. I have no idea why. Not only that, the Hogan figurine that we have keeps falling over as well, and Macho Man has not budged, but the Hogan one keeps falling, and I'm guessing because of the angle. He's got a bit of weight on him. He's got the belt, and he's got the scarf and all the other shit. But he keeps falling over, so I've Tarzan gripped his feet to the speaker, and he still falls. And today felt like I came in, picked him up off the floor, but his freaking beanie's disappeared as well. He wasn't cheap. When I mean not cheap, I mean, not cheap for me. For someone that has no money, I really shouldn't be spending upwards of $150 on figurines and bullshit to put in here. Yeah, and it annoyed me because the Macho Man was ridiculously cheap next to the Hollywood Hogan one, which I don't understand why. Anyway, regardless, Yeah. Yeah, been busy couple of weeks. I'm not sure when the next episode's coming again, based on just being flat chat and just having to figure out which guests I'm actually going to bring in. There are, like I said, there are a couple heads that are sort of lined up, but yeah, it's just trying to coordinate everything. There was a bunch of shit that I wanted to actually lose my mind over. Pretty sure I wrote most of them down. Hang on. Oh yeah. Well, there's a bunch of things really, and I don't know which one to go at first. I feel sport for choice. I don't know. It's weird. I'm sort of like not trying not to let shit sort of get to me these days. Just honestly, I've just been working. I've been working a lot. You know, and when I mean a lot, I mean 7 days a week, average of 14 to 17 hours a day. And that's no lie. Today was the most selfish thing I've done in a long time, as far as using my time, and that was put the phone in the bag and go for a ride for 3 to 5 hours out to Hillsville and back. We meant to go a lot further. We went to go to Marysville, Warburton. We had all this itinerary, but we just started late, and it just got too hot. So, but yeah, generally, it's been really busy. I had a conference. I did something new this week. I had a conference, a Zoom conference with 50 different managers and representatives for the company that I work for. And they were from across 3 or 4 different countries, definitely 3, maybe 4. And most of the managers all were in Europe, so their time zones are relatively similar. But it was funny. It was late at night for us, but just watching these faces, a lot of people didn't say a word. I think I said maybe 3 words just because based on the fact that I'm in Australia, so there aren't many of us. But just watching these faces in the Zooms, I don't know if anyone's done this, but I would have guessed because of working from home, because of COVID and all that, everyone would have been doing more and more Zooms. But I'm not sure how many people would have done a Zoom meeting with more than, say, 5 different individuals. But when you've got a group of 50, it's sort of easy to forget that you're actually on camera, and just watching people progressively just wither away throughout the session. And there was 2 things that I noticed. Actually 3. 1, people looked, ongoingly frazzled, and just weary, because the whole thing went for 5.5 hours, closer to 6. And just watching people deteriorate in front of a camera, just pristine at the start of the meeting. Everyone's got perfect makeup, and whatever. But no one, it's not like these people have got ring lights, like some Instagram model. So the lighting doesn't do many favors. And then just as the day wears on, people just look more and more just raggedy. And just watching people wither away. I'm fully aware I would have looked like shit. I got off the call at near midnight, so I would have been fucked. But I did notice one thing which made me laugh. The fucking Greeks. You got to do. There's a guy. I just remember just sort of dozing off, just not dozing off, but just losing focus and just sort of staring straight. And all of a sudden, I saw what looked like a plume of smoke, and I thought maybe it was a fire. And it happened to be a Greek guy sparking a dart in a Zoom call. And I'm like, nah, it can't be. It's got to be someone in the back. And then after about 20 minutes, it was the same thing. I gotta make the point, this Zoom call had a CEO, a director, and a CFO, top of the top sort of echelon of management. And there's this one guy, I don't know what his position was. It couldn't have been anything of two note because he wasn't a keynote speaker. He didn't have any facts to present. He wasn't one of the presenters of Treasury or anything like that. And he's just lighting darts. I felt bad swigging from my water every now and then. I actually classed it up and got a glass and started pouring water into the glass so it didn't look like a nut bag, just swigging from this massive Voss bottle. But yeah. And there was the other thing. There were 2 guys that were presenting at the same time, as in one after the other. I think they were part of marketing or something. They were from the same department, but they looked exactly the same. And and they weren't from the same. They weren't at the same location. They weren't related, but they looked identical. Like they had the same haircut, same white shirt, same beard. I thought I was just tired. I honestly thought I was tired. Yeah. That's one of the luxurious things I've done over the last week. Cool thing I've done is like I've started integrating into the city a bit more. And I don't know, I've mentioned it on this podcast before. If you've ever tuned in, you may remember. If you're a friend of mine, you probably know it. But ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to live in an apartment in the city. Like since I was a child, reading, Spider-Man comics, watching Seinfeld, that whole metropolitan sort of thing, just living in a CBD somewhere. Like, and that's why, like, I lived in an apartment for that long, just in the wrong fucking neighborhood. But I'm almost there now. And I've been sort of taking the tram to get into the CBD to go get things now that they aren't that far out of reach, I found myself walking into a 7-Eleven just to get a bottle of water and sort of walked out, said hi to the cashier or whatever, and like, oh, yeah, hi, doop, and then like walked out, and I felt like a real, a real cosmopolitan girl. It's little things like that, that I sort of, they're like little wins for me. Like it reminds me I'm sort of almost where I said I wanted to be. But I also, another thing that I've done since moving into the city, I've done it repeatedly, is actually go for breakfast by myself at a local cafe. And like I've gone before and taken like my laptop and just done work while eating breakfast. But this morning in particular, I knew that I didn't have anything to eat at home. I had no milk, and I knew it was going to be a long day. So I said, you know what, I actually need a breakfast. So I walked around the corner to a local and just sat down with my phone and ordered breakfast. I don't know, people always say to me that not people, but a lot of people have trouble eating meals out by themselves. I actually don't know why. I mean, I can see why. And I can imagine in the older days, back when Victrolas were the family entertainment system. Does anyone know what a Victrola is? I've said that word a few times and people have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Victrolas are those old school record players that had a crank with like a big cone coming out of them. We actually had one that was ornamental. Now that I remember, yeah. Hang on, was it a lamp? I feel like I've got to call my mum and ask her now. Was it an ornamental Victrola? Maybe we didn't have it. Maybe my godmother had it. Because I remember she used to have like funky bits of art and shit like that. Now I'm curious. Nah, maybe it was us. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, maybe back like 20 years ago when you didn't have a phone to sort of occupy yourself with. Maybe eating out by yourself was sort of awkwardy. And that's the other thing. I actually noted this down. I wrote this down. Years ago, years ago, like, over 10. If I'm 30, it would have been like 20, maybe 23, somewhere there. Yeah, maybe 23. I don't know, 23, 24. I'd gone for breakfast out with someone. It was like a Sunday, and I still remember where I was. I was at Airstream in Glen Waverley. And I remember having breakfast, and I said, if that's what marriage is like, I don't want a fucking bar of it. And they're like, what do you mean? And I turned and I pointed them behind them. There was this older couple. And they weren't like 80. They were probably like in their mid-50s. So they weren't ancient. And, 50 is the new 30. So they weren't like, beyond it. And I remember they were both sitting there with newspapers, fanned out in front of them at a cafe. Like, one's reading The Age, the other one's reading the Sunday Herald, Sun, whatever. And I remember saying specifically, if that's what fucking marriage is going to be like, I do not want a fucking bar of it. It's like, what do you mean? I said, it's Sunday morning. Typically, Sunday mornings are when you have the most time to yourself and you're free to do whatever you want. Like, it's not like you haven't got an obligation like a Saturday night to go somewhere. Unless you're running a business, of your own. Sunday's usually the day off, and the morning off is like the most crucial of free time. Like, you want to make sure you spend your Sunday properly. If the best thing that they had to do was leave their house, drive, 4Ks, and pull out newspapers over breakfast and not say a fucking word to each other, like, fuck that. Like, nah. Forget it. Do that at home. Like, I get you don't have to, like, constantly be in your partner's ear or whatever, but for fuck's sakes, man, like, 2 newspapers fanned out at breakfast out. Read the paper during the week when you can't be fucked. Like, Sundays you venture out, you do something. But this is the other thing. Millennials especially get a lot of flack for being on their phones. Like, during meals and whatever. And I've given kids, I've given lazy parents who hand their kids tablets at dinners out. Like, I give them shit. Because, like, fuck that. Right? But I know millennials cop a lot of shit for being on their phones out. Or, like, are these people even entertained? And then I thought, hang on, that fucking couple have their newspapers out 10 years ago. I guarantee you now, if that couple's still alive and they've actually made it back to the Glen, I guarantee you they've got their phones out, flicking through, taking out awkward profile photos. Yeah, like 30 centimeters angled up at your chin. Glasses perched like on the bridge of the nose, staring slightly aback, mouth ajar. Oh, fuck me. Full circle and it hasn't even been 4 minutes. Fantastic. Oh, fuck. What else? I feel like I'm Chris Rock. What else? What else is it? The fucking tram driver. That was the other thing. I was on my adventures out in the CBD. I saw a tram pull up, and the driver had his arms above his head, like in the air, like he was stretching or something. But he was doing it from like 20, 30, 40 meters away, and the tram came to a complete stop, like just, next to me. Who the fuck's controlling the tram? Is it that automated where the bloke operating the thing can have his arms in the air, like it's a Tesla, from literally 40, 50? Like, I remember squinting and seeing his arms because I'm trying to read the tram name, like where it was going. So I took notice of this driver, and he had his arms above his head, like he had a bird between his legs. And he kept, like, he cruised all the way past me, and the tram stopped on a dime. If it's that automated, what the fuck are they paying these people? Especially because I've been watching heaps of Terminator 3 videos. I don't know if anyone remembers that movie. I watched it once, I think, at the cinemas, or maybe I borrowed it. I can't remember. And, yeah, I didn't think much of it. And I went back to it the other day because I remembered a scene from it. And for some reason. And I started watching Terminator 3. I thought, these thinking motherfuckers really are closer than they should be. But surely we could have Terminators operating the trams, because it's not even conductors anymore. They're not taking tickets. Now you got those rent-a-cops that are doing it. Maybe that's where it starts. Melbourne trams. They put cyborgs in to run Melbourne trams. And then, yeah, you got them in San Francisco. You got them in, I think, Hong Kong, Singapore. I can't remember. There's a few other countries where trams exist. Maybe that's how the Skynet take over. Someone gets on a tram without, like, a mask or spits on the ground, pisses one of these cyborgs off. And then everything just short circuits, malfunctions, and yeah, these Terminators start taking over everything. They become fully aware because of someone's Mikey card malfunctioning. What else have I got? The Winter Olympics. Yes. I haven't actually watched much of it. I haven't watched fuck all of it, really. I literally saw like one event while I was having breakfast the other day at that cafe. And when did I see the other one? I think maybe I might have been sitting at home preparing some documents, and I just had it on, like, in the background. Two things caught my eye. It's now not called the bobsled anymore. It's called the bobsleigh. Are they the same thing? I'm pretty sure they're the same thing, because they were doing a preview of the damn event. And they brought up Cool Runnings. Like, this event has had nothing more go for it other than a movie with John Candy and a couple American comedians. Back in 94. John Candy's been dead for 27 years. It's 27 years. And they're still referencing him in the Olympics. I feel like every 2 years they're going to reference John Candy at the Winter Olympics for the bobsleigh. I have no idea when it became bobsleigh from bobsled. It's still a sled. I thought sleigh was what Santa rode. Anyway, if someone wants to do the research and tell me what it is, because quite frankly, I'm going to forget, and I'm too lazy right now to get my phone. But I was watching that event, and they're talking about how the woman going down the chute, whatever, like, the track, it's like one of the world's best, and look at the control and blah, blah, blah. It really looked like she was rattling around like a pinball in a ball in a pinball machine. I'll be honest. I didn't see any control. I was waiting for her to like get decapitated or have the thing fly off one of the corners into the crowd, wipe out a school of South Koreans. Seriously, they were talking about control. I'm like, what control? She's literally hitting the sides. At what point are you controlling this thing? I'm serious. I know I'm sounding ignorant, but I'm just saying, it looks so fucking dangerous. Clock the speeds on the thing. It's like 180, 160, 120. Like, I'm on a bike with a helmet, like, and upright, physically seeing everything in front of me, and I can control it with, like, hydraulic brakes and shit. This woman's this person, because obviously it's, gender neutral event, but yeah, these athletes, they're flying down this ice. What can I possibly see? Like, I lie in bed and I can't see my toes. Fuck. I need to Google what they actually get paid. I want to know what they get paid. And whatever it is, they should double it and then maybe triple it again. That's some dangerous shit. Like, that is a dangerous, dangerous sport. I don't know. What was the other thing about the Winter Olympics? There was something else. The Winter Olympics. There was the bobsleigh. Then there's the other one where it looks like you've got one of those mechanic trolleys that, your Afghani uses to slide underneath your car to check the oil. They got one of those and they're lying on it head first. Again, like 120, 130, feet just smashing into the barricades. How? Like, I remember Jerry Seinfeld had a bit about that. So it's like they just took someone, slapped him on one of these toboggan things and just threw him down the chute. It really is like that. It does not look like they're in control at any point. And like, I think the Australian woman got silver. Germany came first, I think. But fuck me, man, it looks so dangerous. They got that plastic helmet. Like, what is that going to do? You're literally sliding straight head first into a wall of ice at 130k an hour. If you make contact, your shoulders are going to separate from the rest of your body, like literally clean off, and you'll just be a head sitting on the top of a spine and resting on a rib cage like a trophy. Like, fuck. I know I'm sounding ignorant. I apologize in advance, but I'm really lost here. I just felt like, I should have put something up. Like, it really has been busy. The hockey. I was watching the hockey, and automatically all I could think of was of NHL Face-Off 99. It's a PS2 game that me and John used to play incessantly. Like, we wagged school many a times. We made a team. We used the Detroit Wings. Is that what they're called? The Red Wings. Of course, because, there were two teams growing up. Detroit and Anaheim. Because, the Mighty Ducks. We didn't know anything about NHL. This is Melbourne. Who the fuck follows the NHL? Even though we've got a Melbourne Hockey League, which is amazing. But, yeah, we're watching the NHL. It was the ice hockey in the Winter Olympics. And I'm just looking at it, and all I could think of was a video game. I actually messaged John saying, "Hey, dickhead, get your PS2, bring it to the studio so we can have a game." That takes me back to one of the best all-time sporting moments ever. And that was, we're in some sort of final. We're playing that game, season mode, on hard. And we're down by like 2 goals. No, we're down by a goal with like 40 seconds to go in the game. We're in my old bedroom. So it would have been in high school. Like would have been 16, 15. Can't remember. But I remember sitting there. Like I'm sitting there on the floor. Yeah. And we're playing this game. And I remember we've scored one with like 20 seconds to go. And then I remember saying to John, "Nah, okay, we're going to win this. Fuck this. Like we're winning. I'm not copping a draw to this team." It was some shit team. And I remember like through the hand of God, like we check, get the puck back. I slap in a shot for a goal. So for the win, siren goes. And I've stood up and just gone, "Yeah!" And then like thrown my arms up in the air, smashed the lamp, like the light. I had this light that was low hanging. It was on like a rod from the ceiling. And I've smashed the globe, like punched it upwards and shattered the lighting fixture. Totally worth it. We won the game. And I remember we played that game. We played a season all the way through. We're adamant. We're going to finish the season, playoffs, grand final, whatever. And then all we got was like a shitty FMV video that went for like 20 seconds. Mate, what a rort. I'm just thinking about those video games from back in the day. You'd invest 20 hours into playing them. You played them until your eyes hurt. And then you got some shitty full motion video, for like literally 10 seconds. You win. And it's always the same story. After winning the championship, Johnny Bryan goes back to his hometown and marries his sweetheart and starts a school, of whatever the video game was about. So like a fighting school, martial arts school, a driving school. And he won the championship 60 more times before retiring. The end. Fuck. Now people want stories. Speaking of stories, that's the big news. That's the one. That's why I've been so depressed. It is, after 30-odd years, 36 years, our beloved sitcom Neighbours is finally looking to come to pass and fucking end. Thank God. Sad times. Yeah, apparently, I was reading some article about it. Apparently, British production media company, like I'm not sure, whoever technically owns it, they pay to keep it going. And this last year, they've been pulling in less than, they've been losing like £5 million a year or $5 million a year, one of the two. Don't quote me, but a substantial number. They don't make back anything from the advertising based on the show, so they're losing money. And the company just said, "Nah, we're not doing this anymore. Like we're bleeding money. It's getting worse, not better." The thing that got me was I can't wait. The media started, like the papers started painting it as in like, oh, just 3 or 4 years shy of their 40th anniversary. It got to where it is by just honing in on that whole, sex between minors and adults angle. I remember for a good 2 years, every time you turn on the TV and there was an ad, it'd be about some older head over the age of 50 banging some younger head, under the age of 25, like standard. And that's all they were selling for ages. It was like that was it. Just, it's like they do these things. It's like, like Summer Bay, there'd be a murder. It's like a town with like 30 people, no Europeans unless the European is a murderer, no Asians unless, someone's a triad member. And it's just the same 30 people reproducing carbon copies of themselves. And they just sort of keep it going. But there'll be a murder, then another murder. It's like, how many murders are in this fucking town? Who would ever live in these places? The pub burns down, then the school burns down, and then everyone burns alive that was hiding in the school because of the pub, and it just keeps going back and forth. But nevertheless, seriously, who the fuck lives in these places? Regardless, the papers had already started strumming it up, saying, you know, just 3 years shy. Well, everyone's 3 years shy of something. You know what I mean? It really got to me, but like the public outcry now is going to start, we need to save Neighbours, you know, let's start a GoFundMe. Why? The show is not making any fucking money. They're losing money. These characters, fuck me. They're like, dude, you got to remember, Dr. Carl, Susan Kennedy, fucking, what's his name? Toady, yeah? Jared Rebecca. Fuck me. These people have had job security for like 30 years. Plus. Like, it's time. They got themselves an application at Centrelink just like everyone else during COVID. Seriously. For fuck's sakes. Like, have they not been protected enough? They are the endangered, they are the protected species of the media industry, like Bert Newton was. You know, rest his soul. Seriously, the soapy actors are the protected species of the media industry, depending on what the soap is. Because if it's something new and different, God forbid, we break new ground and attract a different kind of, audience. No, we have to go with a dinky dye, true blue, proven. Well, not proven. They've been losing $5 million a year for the last 5 years. But legit, they won't bleed in a new show. And when they do, they recycle the same fucking morons from every other show that got the axe. Rather than actually doing something different. Maybe with the fall of the Last Titans, between that and, the reincarnated at Summer Bay, maybe once those two go, it'll be like a clean slate, a breath of fresh air. We don't have to protect these people anymore. They get a real job. And that's the thing. Like, seriously, how many acting awards are these people going down for? It's a secure paycheck. I get that. And I can't talk as, my dying legacy will be this fucking podcast. I'm going to prepay this thing, at least on SoundCloud. Actually, Spotify and Anchor don't actually charge. Maybe this thing will be in for perpetuity. God, that's horrific. Potentially, before Skynet comes, this could be like one of the last things out there. And maybe that's when we'll click over 10, 20 views for the week. Yeah. But like, how proud could you be to be on this show for 40 years? It hasn't even hit 40 yet. Doing the same shitty storylines. I know I'm just trolling now, and I shouldn't be, but I can. Fuck it. They're taking up space. I would love to know what they're going to do next. Like, what exposés? Do you reckon they're going to go hard, like hardcore, like down the line against type? Like, what was the girl from the Princess Diaries, Anne Hathaway? In order to break free from that, like, squeaky clean image, she went and did all those hardcore movies where she's like nude and there's drugs and sex and all that type of shit. Who do you reckon's going to be the first to go? Because I honestly, the sad thing is I'm picturing all these old Neighbours actors, or old Neighbour characters that are probably still on the show from when I remember last watching an episode. Like, I remember Alex had been on half a dozen episodes over the last 10 years, and I tune in every time he'd tell me, hey, man, I'm on. But I guarantee you, fuck me, that's it. I'm looking this up now. This has become a thing. Just because it's annoyed me. Neighbours. But I'll look up Australian soap opera. Fuck me. Here we go. Let's just scroll down. There should be a current character list. Here we go. Okay. In 1985. Jesus. That's depressing. Okay. Ramsay Street is now... here we go. When storylines for certain characters become tired, the scriptwriters simply move one family out and replace it with a new. Hard-hitting. Riveting story development there. Ramsay Street is now a mixture of older characters like Paul Robinson, Toadfish Rebecca, Carl and Susan Kennedy, as well as newer characters such as the Canning and the Brennan families. Seriously? Paul Robinson is the only remaining original character in the series. Fuck. 2009. Wait, 2009, it was announced that producers would be introducing a new generation of Ramsay family to the show, over a decade after the family had last appeared. Oh my God. Why? Oh, here we go. So in 2009, they brought on some dude who became the first prominent ongoing gay male character. Of course he was Greek, played by a Swedish guy. Okay. 2018, they had the first same-sex marriage to feature on the show. The first transgender character was brought in 2019. Well, definitely reasons to be tuning in every night. Seriously, they're doing what everything else is doing. Fuck me. What was I even looking up? Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, it's gone. And what a sad day for Australian media. I can't imagine what they're going to do. I think about all the classically trained actors, you know, of prominence are going to bring back Delta Goodrem, Kylie Minogue, Craig McLachlan, Jason Donovan. Fuck me. Harold will probably come back. I don't know, is he dead? I'm not sure. Touch wood. Hopefully that. Ian Bishop, I think is his name. I can't remember. Maybe they killed him off in the show. I got no idea. I know he came back with amnesia like half a dozen times. That's all you need to do. They need to just do the whole... Put every cast member, they all go into like Bonnie Doon or something, and they just go over a cliff in a bus, leaving it open in case, you know, Kerry Packer's grandkids come back and decide they want to rejuvenate Channel 10. What was the last thing? Oh, Valentine's Day. Yeah. This one caught my eye. Every year for the last, I don't know, what year are we in? 2022, so maybe 15 years, maybe over that. I've bought my mum flowers on Valentine's Day, her birthday, and Mother's Day and her name day. Yeah. Literally. And at one point I was buying my auntie flowers as well. Then she moved, her address changed, and I never asked for it again. It was fucking costing money, man. Do you know what flowers cost on Valentine's Day? Doesn't matter if you want to buy one single rose. Seriously, it's like $120. Anyway, dude, I was on this website because there was no way I was going to be able to get to like a physical. There's a florist that I use in Clayton for like local deliveries, and there was no way I was going to be able to get to it, even though I am in Clayton right now. Oh my God. Okay, I just answered my own question. Nevertheless, I was flicking through a website for flower delivery. There was legitimate, like 2 dozen roses in a jar for $459. $459 for 2 dozen roses. Are you fucking kidding me? That is like 2/3 of a paycheck for most people, man, for a week. I'm just remembering some of the dinners I've had in the last like couple of months in the city. And, you know, after like full meals, desserts, booze, you know, possibly another drink somewhere between, 6 to 8 individuals, I don't think we spent $459. But for 2 dozen fucking roses? What did we come to? Like, that's highway fucking robbery, man. Like, seriously? But then again, fuel. Fuck me. Fuel's like a $2.10. Something like that. Cost like $130 to fill up my car the other day. I nearly cried. I literally sat down and cried in my car. Anyway, you know what? I've rattled on for too long. And it's fucking hot. Do me a favor. Actually, no, I don't need any favors. I'm good. I've got to... I don't know. Look, I don't know when the next episode's going to come. Hopefully this week. I've got to touch base with all the guests that I had. Work should be quieter this... Actually, no, that's a lie. Work is still flat out this week, and this weekend's even more chockers. I honestly have not been doing shit all but working. I know I say it a lot, and I don't need anyone's sympathy or pity, at least not for that. You pity me for something else. Fuck, I'm going to have to put these pants back on now. My pants are fucking heavy, and they're hot. You want to get... I took my boots off and my actual socks just to give my feet some air, because I've been wearing bike boots since 11 or whatever this morning, 10:30 this morning. And I said to myself, I was taking them off, I went, these dogs are barking. I don't understand where that saying comes from. It's always about feet too, isn't it? Like when you take your shoes off. Is that from Hush Puppies? I don't know. I'm just taking a stab in the dark now. If you've got the answer, please let me know. And I know, I can already see the dickheads that are going to Google this, that listen to this, that I know listen to this. They're going to message me like, hey, dickhead, it's this. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. But I legitimately won't Google this one before when I stop the recording. Hang up. Fuck me. God, life was simpler. We had a rotary phone. Oh, man. Someone was saying, on a forum online, someone was talking about a bike forum. They were talking about electronic bikes that are hitting the market. And someone was saying, they're way too expensive to be affordable for me. And I remember commenting, and I said, mate, do you remember what a double VCR cost? And I thought I was going to get him. And he actually said, no. He goes, I'm too young to remember that shit. But I do remember a time when internet wasn't so freely available. Like, dude, you just hurt me. I'm old enough to be able to distinguish between a VCR and a double VCR and what the use of it was. Like, we were the house in the neighborhood that 2 VCRs to dub to. Like, one off the other, taping, like bootlegging tapes of people. And then, like, long play, short play. Fuck, man. Those are the days. And I'm getting progressively older. It's never become more apparent. Fuck, I'm sad. Nevertheless, please like, share, follow, subscribe. I really want to thank everyone that's actually gotten behind us the last month. Despite the fact that we've had no episodes, our views have gone up, our plays have gone up, and I haven't spent any money advertising this or pushing it or anything like that. A few people have donated to the Buy Me a Coffee, and that really has helped out. Honestly, just check the links in wherever you listen to this. I mean, if you're listening it through like iTunes or Spotify or whatever, just check the profiles. If you're on the Instagram page or the Facey page, check the profiles. There's a Linktree ad, and from there you can get to all our links. So, Buy Me a Coffee, the SoundCloud page, the Twitter page, all that sort of shit. Again, like if you've listened to at least 3 to 4 episodes in full, so we're talking 12 to 15 hours, do us a favor, buy us a coffee for $5, because you've been more than well entertained. It wasn't an accident to listen to 20 hours of shit. Fuck. Yeah, I don't understand why people watch movies when they can't, they're not actually into them. I seriously turn shit off. Time is too precious to waste on shit like Neighbours. It's amazing. It really is amazing. People willingly watch Neighbours. I would love to know how many people actually follow those storylines. I don't care. Fuck Neighbours. I really don't care. They've taken up too much space and too much time and too much money and turned average people with no discerning, talent into celebrities, pseudo-celebrities in Australia anyway. They'd walk down, Madison Avenue or Hollywood Boulevard and just get passed off as a bum, like me. I'm no better, but I'm not worse. And that's a fucking quote. But yeah, like, share, follow, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. It's really helping us out. And again, the more this sort of picks up, the more we can start, actually have a chance of monetizing all these episodes, meaning more content. And yeah, let me know if there's anyone out there they actually want me to see, because some of our guests have come from recommendations from other people. Terry himself from Blue Abroad. He was on here because someone suggested him. I didn't even know he existed until I actually got told about Blue Abroad, and then I'm like, fuck it. not going to start a chat with him. I'm probably have a proper chat with him. So yeah, anyone you think would be of note to bring down, criminal records can apply. It's fine. Smoke crack.
Hold up.